These times are coming. We told you about them, but you motherfuckers was sleeping. Now you gotta wake up.
The time has come. Low key.
The United Nations Committee has condemned racial police brutality within the United States. Many of those who were protesting and rioting out in the streets of Ferguson, Missouri, may find this as some sort of victory or justice for Michael Brown, the black teenager that was gunned down by a white Ferguson, Missouri police officer. And as well for Chris Gardner, the black man who was unarmed and already apprehended before a white police officer choked him to death. Though the headline that reads, "The United Nations Committee has condemned racial police brutality within the United States," is good news to hear, we must still look at the fact that they are condemning racial police brutality within the United States with a critical eye. The simple fact that the U.S. holds a very vital position within the United Nations would make anyone who is spectating the situation a little skeptical. And in this case, that person should be skeptical. Yeah. The fact that the United Nations not only condemned police brutality within the United States, but also condemned at the same time the Stand Your Ground law within the United States. You see? Yeah. The case comes strikingly similar to the federal assault weapons ban in the early 90s during the Clinton administration. Many have called that the Bill Clinton gun ban. Clinton's gun ban was actually a subsection of the Violent Crime Control and Law Enforcement Act of 1994. You see, the Violent Crime Control and Law Enforcement Act of 1994 stated that the Attorney General shall, through appropriate means, acquire data about the use of excessive force by law enforcement officers. This also became known as the Excessive Force Report Requirement, which was one of a number of report obligations imposed on the Justice Department. You see, the provision itself that directed the Justice Department to publish an annual summary of data acquired concerning excessive force was inserted by senators. And one senator, which is now Vice President, Joe Biden, was chairman of the Senate Judiciary. I think I'm saying that right. Yeah. The Senate Judiciary Committee at that time. One must note that now in 2014, President Barack Obama has his own gun ban. You see, people have been talking about it for a couple years now. Obama's gun ban, you know. Barack Obama's presidency was enthusiastically supported by United Nations member Henry Kissinger and the Trilateral Commission co-founder and United Nations member Dr. Zbigniew Brzezinski. You see, both, I have to say, has vested interest within Obama and within his agendas. But the conflict of interest don't stop there. No. The whole 1994 annual report requirement of law enforcement using excessive force was pressured by speculation of the Rodney King beating, you see, and the fact that police officers were using excessive force, which was uncalled for, on drug abusers, drug users, drug dealers, and drug criminals, people that were inside the prison and people that was outside the prison, just being overly excessive, abusive, using excessive force towards them, you see. Joe Biden, being a secret racist himself, and who have a hidden track record, not one that's really seen, of using oppressed, economically downtrodden, and politically manipulated individuals to carry out his political goals. You see, Joe Biden was a very serious senator and strident warrior when it came to the war on drugs in the early 90s. Or should I say, maybe more accurately, the war on the economically poor drug user and abusers. In 2012, when Obama was running for his second term, Joe Biden and Obama made sure to not mention and to keep media's attention away from the black lynchings. They call it the Negro lynchings that was going on in 2012 in Delaware, the state of Delaware, The state of Delaware, which a lot of people will say, and I think it's pretty accurate, was the last state to abolish slavery, and it's a northern state, Delaware. Delaware is where Joe Biden's son is Attorney General. He was and is Attorney General. And all this was kept under hush while they continued to fool the black masses to vote for the Obama-Biden ticket for President of the United States, you see. If that would have got out, who would have voted for Obama if he had Joe Biden as his running mate, as his vice president? Oh no. First we got to deal with this. You know, they can't be lynching blacks in Delaware where your son is the Attorney General. Oh no. You know, you got to choose another vice president, Obama, or we'll just go Republican. You know, we don't want to be manipulated like that, you see. Needless to say though, that the annual reports required by Congress in the 1994 law were never produced. It never materialized. It never became a reality. Yet Bill Clinton's gun ban, the federal assault weapons ban, became very real. Very real. And in most cases, it was used simultaneously as a prop within America's war on drugs in the early 90s. Yeah. Instead of taking away guns from police officers and the National Guard, which, by the way, the calling of the National Guard to spend time in little old Ferguson, Missouri, appeared very messy to the international world. You know, yeah. In ways made it seem as if America itself was a third world country. The United Nations Committee just had to intervene and toss in their 2 cents about the situation by stating that it condemns racial police brutality within the United States, as well as the Stand Your Ground law. But instead of taking away guns from the officers and the National Guard, it seems like the focus is back on gun rights and voting this November in the 2014 midterm general elections. Yeah, you know, it's a reason why this is blowing up. You know, they want to get you guys out there to vote again. The whole political manipulation is starting up again, pulling out the race card for the benefit of Obama. Yeah, and Obama then wants to take away food stamps. You know, so much of it. You know, want to be a little bit more stricter on the drug laws, but yet a little more lenient, appear lenient, but actually a little bit more stricter. You know, you can't find a job with a felony now. You know, we'll give you a second chance to do a felony. You know, your first offense will be something a little minor than a felony, but your next one will be, and we know you're going to do it again because drugs is addictive, you know. Yeah. There's no real help here. You know. So we see the focus going back on gun rights and voting this November in 2014 midterm election. You know, the saying's pretty much, let's help Obama out and hope that he truly help us out. You see, when President Thomas Jefferson, one of the founding fathers of this country, spoke of the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms, he said it is there to protect citizens from the government and tyranny. You see? Yeah. It's not the law, it's not the guns that's bad. It's the people with the guns that's bad. You know. The guns. It's not the problem. It's the people. Thomas Jefferson also has a quote where he says, the only way democracy will work is if we have smart, very educated populace, meaning very smart people who are going to vote and be political and get involved with the politics. You know, you can't vote if you're not going to be a thinker. You see, why vote if you easily manipulated, easily tricked? You see, you're not a thinker. Laws, and I think this is something that people have to understand, that laws are no stronger than their enforcers. The same people who inserted certain provisions within a bill, the same people who passed the bill into law, are the same people who are responsible for enforcing that law. And if the people who enforces that law no longer decides to do so, then the laws are of no value and holds no power. Ultimately, then, the fairness and treatment rests not in laws, but in the activities of the people and in the attitudes and consciousness of the people. If the attitudes of the people who are supposed to enforce the law changes, then the treatment of those people whose freedom is supposedly protected by those so-called laws will change as well. For betterconditions.org, support the cause, meetjadini.com, support the cause.